And I'm here for the review of a Billie Eilish album, When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? So before getting to the album, I was like to say before listening to the album, the only Billie Eilish song I listened to before was Bad Guy, which gave me a really tiny impression of what kind of artist she is and what kind of music she makes. So going into this album, I'm pretty surprised, and don't really know her style, so I'll be like surprised by many of the element in her songs. But anyways, so listening to the intro to the album, I was like a little bit it kind of gave me the wrong impression since the intro is like her laughing with someone else, I think, and that's gave me like a false impression of the album is gonna be like people laughing, it's really joyful, it's not sad or anything like that. But then after intro was Bad Guy, which I listened before, and I kind of enjoyed that. And the transition between the intro and Bad Guy, I think that was crazy, and that's really one of the highlights of the whole album's like the mixing and the transition is very smooth, and that's yeah. And Zanny is it's a song similar to Bad Guy in terms of style and everything. Not too crazy about it, but it's not a bad track or anything like that. And then here comes the part which you should see in a crown, which I believe is so amazing. It made me, think of this album suddenly on a higher degree, on a higher level. I think the mixing this part was great. Even though even though in the back end Zanny, I didn't really like her voice and the energy where she doesn't talk much, and that's mainly because her style of talking and singing is only for some beat, and sometimes the mixing isn't used correctly, so that it sounds really lazy and the whole sound is kind of down. But on You Should See Me in the Crown, I think her voice was portrayed perfectly, and that is the way her voice sounds best, I guess, in her like flow and energy. And then that is kind of bring the album to a higher angle, like I said before. But and then the next song, however, All Girls Go to Hell, which I isn't really a fan of, but I think that brings this album to another higher level. Like the consecutive songs are absolutely amazing. The production is crazy. The mixing is on the track is good, and also there's a lot of elements I think that's really funny, but it's positive in a way. So yeah, same was when the part, but then Wish You Were Gay, which bring us again to higher levels. I think this was the first six song was absolutely amazing in this album, which gave me a really good impression. That's when the party is over and eight kind of bring it downhills, like going downhills down. That's because I think these two songs are really boring. There's zero energy. Like I said before, her voice is not perfect, and the way her no, well, her voice is all right, but like the flow and the energy is really bad. But it really okay, it's not bad. It really depends on the mixing. But on these two parts, the mixing was not correct, and the beats doesn't all match the flow. The energy sounds stupid, everything like that. But then my strange addiction and bury a friend bringing again upward, which is kind of crazy, because it's my strange addiction. I have a reference to the Michael Scalcrow. I forgot what it's called from The Office. As the Office fan, I'm pretty surprised about that. And, pretty much like that concept. And when the Bury a Friend is also another great track, which Billie was like singing with another guy and together or something, and the unified sound is really good. The other two songs like Listen Before I Go, I Love You was like just Billie Eilish just playing songs. Really don't have much comment about it. It's not bad, it's not good either. Well, it's like mediocre. And Goodbye was like I think it's great because it's contradiction to the styles before. It was really slow, but it go back to I think Bury a Friend where there was like a guy and Billie singing at the same time. So that's pretty unique. So I think this album is pretty great because it got a diversity in a way. There's different tries, different elements and different music tracks, and I think it's pretty good. I think it's not bad. The mixing is alright. It's only the energy that sometimes may lack in songs and make the song really boring and make you fall asleep and stuff. But overall, this is a really good song, especially the lyrics. I think the lyrics are pretty deep. It's sad that so she's sing so quiet, you cannot really bring the focus to the lyrics. You have to like just go to the lyrics and actually look at them. I think that's really, the lyrics are really beautiful. I think this is a good album. This is a great debut album for Billie Eilish, and I'll give it like a 9 out of 10.